Hey guys, I'm Andrea, and welcome to the very first episode of Careers Are Weird. It's actually insane to finally be able to say that because it's only taken me 3 years to hit record. Oh, I'm so excited to finally be doing this, and I found some really amazing episodes with some cool topics. So, my hope for this is that it becomes a safe space to share tips, advice, and tools to help everyone create a more pleasant, joyful career because I just don't think careers are something to be endured and certainly not suffered through. I think it's a third of your day and it just needs to be a pleasant experience. So, if you haven't listened to the trailer, kind of a snapshot of what the title really is. Of course, careers are a lot of things. They're challenging, they're daunting, they're fulfilling, they're rewarding, but they're also weird. And why do I think it's weird? Because of everyone I know, we all have different careers and they're all so different and all their paths are so mismatched and they don't really follow a lot of logic, especially not now in the starting points of our careers. So let me give you some context for where I'm coming from. I'm 27 years old. I am a very young millennial. I am a millennial, but it's kind of borderline with millennial and very, very elderly Gen Z. I graduated in economics in 2018 with my bachelor's, started working full time in February 2019, and then 1 year later, in March 2020, the pandemic hit, which meant that after having a whopping 1 year and 1 month of work experience on my CV, that was it. Everything changed, and the next 2 years of my career ended up being super weird because all of a sudden it was remote, it was hybrid, it was strange. Everyone was talking about adaptability, and well, it was just a very different way to start my career. And what I'm doing now, well, I'm in a startup, so my role is all over the place to the point where I don't even know if I have a title. A few weeks ago, someone told me they see me wearing two hats in my role, and I didn't even have a response to that. So, frankly, now I'm 5 years into my career, and I don't think and when I say we, and you'll hear me say we a lot, I mean me, you, my friends, I just think the royal we, don't talk about the jobs we do in the first 10 years of our careers enough. Because truthfully, the jobs I've had in the last 5 years aren't roles that I even knew existed when I was in uni. These titles, these jobs, these job descriptions, I had no idea, and it's still kind of hazy. So, why this podcast became super important to me is because I feel like all the career interviews out there are so focused on the C suite level person, that managing director type. That, frankly, is typically around that 50 plus years old age group. They've been working since they've been in their 20s, so they have 30 plus years of industry experience. And when they tell their stories, it doesn't resonate because they started working in an era where they graduated one day, they walked into a company's reception with their hard copy resume the next day, and many of them were kind of told, great, you can start on Monday. Right now, we're being ghosted by recruiters and we're having AI chatbots pre-read our resumes and it's going nowhere. It's just not like that anymore. Some of the jobs that they did that for don't exist anymore, and then some of us are building towards careers that don't exist yet. So I'm kind of stuck with some of these stories that are out there. I think there are some seriously untold stories from the 20 to 30 somethings that just started their careers, but they aren't entry level anymore. But yet, between this 20 to 30 age group, we aren't exactly middle management yet either. And there's such a gap between the roles that are available, the clarity around those roles, versus what you actually want to do. I get this a lot because this podcast basically originated as multiple long 10 plus minute voice notes to my friends because it's something we've all been struggling with for the last couple of years. There is a bit of a gap, and I want to help young people navigate this. And I think this podcast is just going to be the place for me to do it. It's going to be a mixture of tips, advice for your career, and how to handle the sometimes impossible situation of self promotion, playing the game to get paid what you're worth. This isn't going to be Glassdoor. This is not to crap all over your employer. Absolutely not. I mean, look, confession, I'm a massive fan of LinkedIn. I'm sure that will show in the episodes. But also go on LinkedIn. Everyone will be able to see where I work as well. Like, it's not going to be that type of careers. Like, it's not career comedy in that sense, right? So just to set a bit of an expectation. And since you've listened this far, I should probably tell you the plan and the format of the pod. So some of these will be solo episodes, which I will keep under 10 minutes. That's my promise to you guys. And also my commitment, because I do want to actually be consistent with this. I'd love to start interviewing my friends and my new LinkedIn connections, because we all do some really cool things. But the problem is none of us know what each other is doing. And a lot of us, including myself, are lacking direction in terms of what it is we're doing now versus it is what we want to do versus what it is we want to do. So yeah. And I realized that I've talked now for, God knows, 5-6 minutes, and I haven't even given you a tip. So today's tip is really block out focus time in your calendars. I will do a whole episode on calendar blocking at work and taking out time for yourself. But just something that's come up recently, especially because I have a big project deadline coming up, is blocking out focus time. The number of people who will suddenly, I just hear, Andrea, hey, Andrea, hey, Andrea, hey, Andrea, you got a minute? And I'm like, no. Focus time on your calendar. Block it in, put them there. People they'll learn to respect your calendar. Yeah, I think that's your tip for today. But we'll do full episodes on calendar blocking at some other point. So yeah, until then, subscribe for these weird conversations. I think it'll be lots of fun, and the topics and stories will be cool because we spend a third of our day working. It's important to make sure it's pleasant. And yeah, that's what the podcast is about. My plan is to put out new episodes every Wednesday, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the weird conversations. And yeah, that's it. So till next Wednesday, stay weird and stay ambitious, my friends.